Hello friends, it's Bill and you're watching Bill's Box of Sound again. So this video is a contest entry basically, but it's also kind of a celebration of poetry on plastic. Michael, 10,000 subscribers. Very, very good. Very well deserved. I don't even have 5,000 subscribers yet. I'm getting close. I'm like 4,500, 4,600, something like that. So if you're watching me for the first time and you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. You're not going to have to watch every video that I do, but you never know, you might have a little bit of fun. But let's get back to Michael. Poetry on Plastic. Really good channel. I've been watching him for about 5 years. And this is a contest entry for his 10,000 subscribers contest. And we have to answer some questions and show you some records and other things. The first thing is, show a classical record. Well, I do have a number of classical records. I was thinking about pulling out my boxed set of Beethoven's 9 Symphonies with the Cleveland Orchestra that I got for like $2, just because it has some damaged stuff on the cover. But I wanted to show this one here. More basic repertoire. Gustav Holst's The Planets with Andre Previn and London Symphony Orchestra. And he's recorded this a number of times, once with digitally with Telarc, which was located in Cleveland until they were bought up by Concord. But this is probably my favorite recording of The Planets, my favorite performance of The Planets, not just for the sonics, but just for this spirit and energy that the LSO puts onto this. And for those of you who are collectors, you might want to take one little notice. Take a look at the Angel logo right there. It's round instead of rectangular like on most Angel recordings. That's a little secret code to let you know that this is actually an SQ encoded quadraphonic record. They didn't out and out say that it was a quadraphonic. They just doesn't even say stereo on here. It just says Holst, The Planets, Previn. So those of you who are classical record collectors, if you see an Angel title and it's got the circle instead of the rectangle, it is most likely a quadraphonic record. So that's what I'd like you to know. Also, I recently did a video about classical music and its relation to how Frank Zappa music helped me to discover these other classical composers. Next question. Show the heaviest sounding album you own. Well, I was thinking about pulling out like a Sun O record or a Boris record or maybe Sleep. But the last record to go on my turntable and just make me grin from ear to ear with its absolute bombastic bass and heavy goodness, and just overall audio sludge that made you respect the audio sludge, was a reissue of this record, Primus's Brown album. Now, this is the one that came out, I believe, in 2018 on the Universal Music label and Prawn Song. It's on black vinyl, and I believe it did come out on the colored vinyl as well. There is a gold vinyl or brown vinyl version of this, which was from Music on Vinyl. This does not sound as good. This sounds like it was taken from a CD, but one weird thing about the Brown album is that it wasn't really recorded hi-fi. It was recorded on a Tascam 8-track reel-to-reel, which I believed used either 1/4-inch or 1/2-inch tape for not a very wide track width. But the primitive nature of this recording just gives it a viscousness all its own, and combined with the wacky songs and just this slap in your face playing of Primus. This is when they had Brain as the drummer instead of Tim Alexander. Makes it a very heavy sounding record. And this should be available at popular prices if it's not already out of print. So currently, that's how I feel today about what's the heaviest sounding record in my collection. The next question, please. An artist or group that you got into primarily because of vinyl and record collecting. Well, there's dozens of them, just because I'm a record collector and I like to buy records. I kind of got into Peter Hamill's solo records. He's the main man in Vanograph Generator because of the cool cover on Fool's Mate, his first solo album. And there's plenty of albums that I've bought simply because somebody said, "Hey, that one there, pick that up. You're gonna enjoy it." But kind of blending in the vinyl community and just YouTube, there's a guy on YouTube, I believe it's V Westlife. He does videos about electronics and repairing things and comparing different things. And one day he was showing a turntable and he wanted to play a record on it, and he didn't want to get hit for copyright. So he showed this record right here by a group called Slugbug. And it was a colored vinyl record, which looks like this. And when he put it on, I really liked what I heard. So I had to seek this out and buy it. Got it on Bandcamp. Also found out that he has albums out as well. This is the most recent album from Slugbug called 0x Bad Food. And basically Slugbug is kind of one guy, Paul D. Miller. And he does have a YouTube channel, and you can bask in the lovely nerdiness of his music and the way he puts things together, and you can tell a lot of his stuff is all analog. Another Slugbug album, Truck Month. Just, if you're a fan of Devo, you'll probably like these guys. Or like maybe Oingo Boingo, just quirky pop, clever, just very out of the ordinary, and I can't get enough for it. On Plastic Waffle Records. Check it out on Bandcamp. Oh, take a look at this little ARP Odyssey in the middle of this building here. So that I got into through vinyl collecting, the vinyl community, YouTube, etc. Let's see, a foreign and or non-English record and bonus points for an import pressing. Well, I get the 1 point, but this record did come out in America. It's Einzelhaft by Falco. And the reason why I sought this out was because it's got the German version of Der Kommissar, which the English version by After the Fire was famous at one point in time. Back in the 80s. This came out in 1982. And a lot of his subsequent stuff was kind of like half German, half broken English stuff. I'm still looking for a German copy of Falco 3 because the German rap version of Rock Me Amadeus kicks ass over that remixed version that came out on Falco 3 in America, where he's got the big microphone on the cover. So, Falco, Eisenhoff. And, by the way, Michael, I do have that Harmonian album. And you said, don't copy me. And I'm thinking, damn you, Michael. So, show a CD, tape, digital download, or whatever of an album that needs to be pressed on vinyl. And this one's kind of a heartbreaker because, yeah, it hasn't come out on vinyl yet. Oh, by the way, another Slugbug on one side of a 45, another group on the other side of the 45. This thing here, the Marvelous 3 Hey album, featuring Butch Walker before he started making solo records. I picked this up in a used CD place for a couple of bucks, just for out of curiosity, because I like the cover. Took it home, put it on, listened to it, and man, what a great power pop album this is. It's like songs like Freak of the Week, Every Monday, Over Your Head. I actually love every single song on this album. Now, it came out on Elektra, and it's no longer in print as far as I know. But interesting. Run Out Groove Records recently had this album as one of their candidates for an album of the month. Yeah, what Run Out Groove does, if you're not familiar with them, is they give you 3 albums, and whichever album gets the most votes gets to be pressed, and they take pre-orders for that, and they only make enough to satisfy the people who really want it. This album was up for that, and it didn't win, although I voted as many times as I possibly could, both months that it ran. So, I don't know if this will ever get a pressing on vinyl, but if it does, oh baby, I want it. I want this with the full impact kicking out of my speakers. And last but not least, the letter to the editor. Michael wants us to wax Editorial on one or more of his videos. So, I've been watching your videos for about 5 years or so. I went back and watched a whole bunch of them when I started getting hooked on you. When a new video comes out by Poetry on Plastic, you know I'm not going to skip over it. I'm going to watch it as soon as I can. And it's the audacity or just the cleverness or genius of Michael to include pop, metal, jazz, rock, punk, screamo, and then do a deep dive on some classical music, and he really knows his shit on classical and on audiophile equipment. He writes about audiophile equipment, for heaven's sake, and he is published. So, high marks for you on that. One of your most recent videos, I believe it was called Analog Digital Doesn't Matter, really put things in perspective really well concerning the whole mobile fidelity debacle controversy that we went through in July and part of August, and are still recovering from as we speak. But you brought out that there are so many steps in making a record. Yes, it was really horrible what mobile fidelity did to us. Mask the fact that they were taking original master tapes and transferring them to digital so that they could put their secret sauce in their records. But some of their records sound unbelievably great, and a lot of them don't sound that great. And it's been that way ever since mobile fidelity came out. I've got the mobile fidelity Katie Lied by Steely Dan, and I compared it to the original on not an MCA, on ABC Records, and it just sounded limp to me. But then again, there's some Elvis Costello titles like Punch the Clock and Get Happy that are amazing. But you know, we're finding out more and more that a lot of reissues are not as good as the originals. Michael 45 RPM is finding that out in a big way. So it's always going to be an adventure, a search, and more preservation that we need to do to keep the vinyl spirit alive. And that's what I enjoyed the most about your video. Now, I do have one little bone to pick, and you've done it on a couple of videos. I hope that you don't do it anymore. It's up to you. because it's your channel. You do what you want with it. But with the knowledge that you drop in each video, you don't need to try and hook us in with a 35-second intro on your videos where it shows you putting on records and holding up different records and doing this and doing that. Your videos speak for themselves. I can't stand these videos that have these long introductions as if they're trying to be a real TV show. This is a YouTube video, folks. The best intro for a video channel that I know of is the needle drop. He's got that one little bonk at the beginning of the video when he states the name of the group that is being reviewed that day. That's the only thing that I can nitpick and say that I don't like about your videos. Everything else, man, I love it when you show obscure records that nobody's ever heard of. Half the metal bands you listen to, I don't know anything about, but that speaks to how young you are and to how old I am. I'm still digging new bands. There's a band that came out this year called Wet Leg. Very cool stuff. Love that album. So I'm just going on forever, aren't I? Congratulations on 10,000 subscribers, and I hope you have many, many more. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Have the recording lyrics.
Had a great time. Hope you did too.